Hey everyone, and welcome back to the WoW News. It's been a little while, hasn't it? There is so much to catch up on. We have a giga nerf to a very powerful weapon. We have Ashara coming back. And we think we found out when 10.0.7 is going to be coming through some cheeky data mining. And the good news is 10.07 actually looks bigger than we thought, with a lot of really damn good content. So let's get stuck in, but first I do have some really amazing news to share. The Pale Beyond, our first game, released on Friday. Currently, we have, I think from 120 Steam reviews, a rating of 95. And right now we're in the 2023 Hall of Fame for OpenCritic, which is completely bonkers to me. Now that said, it's early in 2023, but hey, 2023 has been straight bangers for video games, hasn't it? So we're absolutely thrilled with the response that the game has got. What I can share with you is that sales are beyond our expectations, beyond our publishers' expectations. They, your support is absolutely going to allow us to do more things and to just make more, cool content as we can. The whole team is just over the moon with the critical and the player response. It's just been an absolutely crazy time. Now that being said, we do have a few bugs that have cropped up and one or two UX issues where essentially things are fine, but we could do a better job of ensuring the players know what's going on. And we are rapidly working on patches throughout the weekend to get those things, patched up. But yeah, it's just been absolutely crazy times. If you want to support us, the best way to support us, of course, is to purchase the game on Steam and then to leave an honest review of the game. Definitely check the community forum. We have, we're very communicative there with every single problem and a bit of feedback. We've got our patch notes up there, so that'll keep you up to date with what's going on. And that's really it. I'm in here recording this video. Thomas is through that wall, doing patches, tweaking little things that maybe we didn't pick up on. But overall, it's been an incredible experience. I mean, for our debut game to sell as well as it seems to be selling, and to have a 95 in Steam is... I mean, you don't expect that for your first release, right? You do not expect a 95. It is a testament to just how damn good the team is and how damn hard they've worked over the last few years. And I think one of the bits of feedback that I've been the most pleased with is loads of people saying, hey, I wanted to buy this to support you. It really wasn't my genre. I didn't think I'd like this kind of game. But actually, I'm really surprised. I've teleported 5 hours into the future and I'm having a brilliant time. That is really that's like the pinnacle of feedback for me, that even people who wouldn't necessarily like, a sort of like narrative survival role-playing game, that they're actually wandering into the game and being very pleasantly surprised with it. So I'll say thank you to everybody who's been reviewing, who's been supporting us on Twitter and social media. Thank you, of course, to the reviewers and the various different news outlets that have put their time into reviewing the game. The build that you guys get is quite a bit better than the review build, thankfully. But yeah, just, everything. Big thank you as well to our publisher, Fellow Traveler. Between us, we've all been, 24/7 round-the-clock coverage to answer questions and provide support or anything like that to make sure the launch goes smoothly. So, wow. Yeah, I mean, finally. To be honest, I don't think it's quite hit us yet. So, okay. Good things coming in the future. Thank you so much for all of your support. But with that said, we are here for the WoW News, so let's have a chat about that. First things first then, we actually have an idea of when 10.07 is going to launch. Blizzard haven't said anything yet, but data mining has unearthed a clue. This is the same sort of clue that helped us massively work out when 10.05 released. So the Noble Garden event is getting some updates in 10.07. Noble Garden is Easter. Easter is soon. Right now, the event is actually planned to start on Monday, April 10th. And that would mean that, let's just say Blizzard is planning for the patch to be very latest the week before that, on Tuesday, April 3rd. Could actually be earlier, but basically there. April 3rd is a reasonable date to expect this patch by. And this would mean that the WoW team are getting us a second patch 2 months after our first Dragonflight patch. This is faster than the patch cadence of Legion, everyone. And that is bloody good news. Right? That is tremendous. This will mean the Dragonflight Season 1 could perhaps end in May, maybe 10.1 releases, like late May, early June, maybe late June. They might want to avoid Diablo. But the idea of 3 patches in 6 months, like, that's better than Shadowlands' 1 patch every 6 months, or more than 6 months, right? It's crazy. Okay, let's talk about the game then. Hunters, rip, your time has came. Yes, the Razageth bow has been both a dream and a nightmare for hunters, with even the looking for raid version being stronger than any other bow in the game, even mythic. It was a very rare item, but goddamn, it would get you thousands of free DPS. Or if you didn't get it, you wouldn't get that DPS, and you were going to be beaten by worse hunters with worse gear who just got lucky once, which is not a good experience, so Blizzard are nuking it. Basically, it used to give the hunter attack speed, but that unintentionally buffed the hunter's pets, and that's why it was so strong. Now it is being changed to just add damage to the hunter's autos. Of course, if you had the bow, obviously, my commiserations, those brief times when you feel OP, it's just a question of, like, enjoy it while it lasts. But hey, look at all the extra damage you have got for free, and this is still going to be a very good weapon for you. Obviously, BM was getting the most out of the buff to make up for losing the pet attack speed, but MM should enjoy this buff too. Survival only gets a tiny knock-on effect. It's a silly enough mistake to have been made, making it accidentally so OP, but it did occur as a part of an overall mission to try to make really new, exciting, almost semi-legendary raid loot, and if you ask me, I think that has been good with the rings and the trinkets, and I think it's a great goal. All the same, though, gearing as an experience does need some tinkering, and thankfully, reward designer Skarzard plans on addressing that whole situation with a, quote, very, very long post soon, specifically targeting the revival catalyst, tier acquisition, and raid rewards. This is what we want to see. Skarzard is honestly a total legend. His posts usually really, they go down a treat with the players. They actually go in depth on things, and it is exactly what we wanted to see from Blizzard Communication. It is awesome stuff, so I'm looking forward to it greatly. So far, though, I think the learnings from this season have been good. Season 2 should be even better. Of course, obviously, here's to hoping that the revival catalyst comes a little bit sooner, the tier acquisition is a little bit faster, and perhaps that raid rewards get a little bit more deterministic, maybe with some sort of currency that maybe another game might even call a totem. But anyway, with that aside, you may have noticed this week that enchant prices got real spicy. Now we know why. It's because enchants broke. Some players were using a sneaky exploit to force the game to make quality level 3. It finally got reported, Blizzard took action and turned off making scrolls entirely. The exploit was crazy. If you had no bag space free, the crafting system doesn't let you basically make an item. If you have a non-full stack of quality 3 enchants, but no other free space in your bag, then the game basically just goes, well, I can't give you a quality 1 or 2 enchant because that won't fit in your bag. So, a 3 will fit, take one of those. So, no matter what your inspiration or any of those crafting stats were, you were just making straight rank 3s. So yeah, there you go. I guess sell them now. Maybe you'll be as lucky as our guildie, who didn't use the exploit, but did actually have enough stock to make some crazy bank anyway. Now, while we're talking about professions, the public test realm has got some real nice changes to professions. Most importantly, public orders no longer need the orderer to give all of the non-soulbound reagents. And this should mean that more people will drop more public orders, and of course it does add a bit of cost to the crafter, which does sound fair given how the system has actually panned out. Hopefully 10.1 though has a larger fix. Now our favorite story to follow, of course, has been the ongoing rework for the Protection Paladin. Don't know about your guild, but certainly there's a lot of salty paladins in my guild, and they're now turning into hopeful paladins, because this build has brought yet another wave of changes, promising the class that well, honestly, promising it'll be pretty awesome when the patch drops. Stuff really seems to be going in a good direction. This week, we see some stuff moved around to the class tree. Healing Hands and Unbound Freedom. May not seem like much, but it frees up points from the spec to, give you some more customization freedom in the spec tree. It also gives Holy and Prot some pretty sick new options too, so that's really exciting. As for some new talents then, you can now customize your Holy Power single target ability cost if you want to play around with how Holy Power generating and spending feels. So we're really getting into a level of spec customization territory that we never thought possible. There's also a cooldown extender for wings, and one for their other damage window. Ret even has a datamined talent that, well, adds something completely new to WoW, which is combos, where Templar Strikes turns Crusader Strike into a 3-part combo! What? That's crazy! I can't wait to see that implemented. You can also make Crusader Strike passive, like the Demon Hunter and Prot Warrior fillers. Basically, when this is done, I think there's crazy potential. We'll have full coverage very soon because we have some real excited Red Paladins in the team. I can't wait to bring that to you. But Paladin's not the only class to get some changes announced this week. Frost DKs are getting breath fixed a bit. Boomkins are getting a very strong PvP buff. Feral is getting some minor fixes too. Mistweaver's getting some nice fixes and buffs. Rasto Shaman is getting yet more buffs. Again, we will do a full class breakdown video shortly. Now, on to other exciting PTR developments. First off, we think we know the patch title because on the PTR, the campaign title was datamined, and for the last while, every campaign has actually matched the patch name, meaning that we believe that patch 10.1 will be called Embers of Neltharion. Yeah, we're going to be going deep under the earth. There's going to be loads of dark secrets of Deathwing's past, stuff that will matter to us now. More on that later, but for right now, cosmetics. Their Scarlet gear. We can't show you exactly what it's going to look like because only the names are data mined, but we've got some icons and names cropping up for the trading post. There's a Scarlet Heater Shield, which we think will be this one. There's a cloak and a chest piece called a Cossack, which will probably look like this, which admittedly does look goofy because it's a quick mock-up, but it's that style of thing. So I suppose if you want to look like this kind of battle priest paladin, cool situation, you know, then hell, let's go. I suppose if, I don't know, if the Vatican had knights, I don't know. But also coming to the trading post then for Paladins, Labrums! Look at this! A Scarlet Holy Book is just the ticket. There's loads of Holy Books too, so that's awesome for the Paladins. For the more formal role players, there's just an array of different colored evening gloves. And finally, some more simple weapons. I love simple weapons. I mean, what if you want your character to feel a bit more like Geralt of Rivia? Have some simple mogs. And it's great that we're getting these via the trading post. And actually, their prices are pretty damn reasonable. So hopefully you can pick up most of what you want. Then, our last non-lore PTR update from this week is Recruit a Friend, where we seemingly have no idea what's really going on, but there's a datamined splash screen that shows what looks like a goblin-themed mount and pet. And we've also found the Sappy Buddy Scanner Mark III and Shredding Glove in data mining, along with a new seasonal reward string for Recruit a Friend, which probably means that for Blizz, the drive to get WoW subs back up is totally on. I would say here, do I begrudge them doing as much biz dev as they can on World of Warcraft as a product? No, because actually they are clearly investing more in World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is clearly better than it's been in a very long time as a game. The patch cadence is there, so absolutely I want to see them trying to work out how can they get old players back in, how can they get more people into World of Warcraft. That is of vital importance. It would be a crying shame for them to finally right the ship, only to then sort of see failure. They're trying hard, they're making good calls, the game is so much better, like me and all my friends are having so much more fun, which does mean that I want them to see success, yes. Now then, some catch up. Valor and Conquest points are uncapped right now. Hell yeah to that. With 10.07 soon, Blizzard are clearly going for that end of season freedom period, sort of like the first 2 months being serious time, and the rest just being fun time. I'd like to see it happen a bit earlier because fun time is good. But hey, a Blizz responding to player feedback is a good thing. Also, the community feast for the Ascara was buffed a while ago. It now happens every 90 minutes, down from 210, and they added in a few more ways to get progress towards the weekly quest, such as looting the chunks of meat and finding fish parts around the village during the feast. Now, with that, and of course the new envoy system in 10.0.7 that we covered a while ago, which lets you pick a faction to get 10% extra rep every day, I think you'll be able to catch up your renowns quite a bit before patch 10.1. It's lore time. I'm going to keep this brief because we want to do in-depth coverage next week when we're not in launching a video game mode and we can unscramble our brains. But yeah. The PTR lore drops have been kind of mind-bending. In Dragonflight, there were basically all these books from Alderman, right? And they led us down a rabbit hole that led to us making this video about how Blizzard are giving the humans an awesome story, and there's a lot of potential. We're very excited about it. Then 10.07's PTR brought in an Old Gods and the Ordering of Azeroth book, that basically is from Warcraft 3's manual and vanilla WoW, and they kind of re-canonized it, and they actually retconned a controversial retcon from from Warcraft Chronicle, which, look, we didn't particularly like that retcon back in Chronicle, so I'm actually okay with the bad thing being retconned again to be what it was in Warcraft 3. Very rare things go in that direction, eh? And that led to this video about a 5th Old God, and, you know, the great unretcon, and also it teased a whole new area of Azeroth, which, if that sounds awesome, then that led to us creating this other lore video that really popped off about how Blizzard are no longer teasing, but actually telling us that we could really be going to the back of Azeroth at long last. So check that out. I think it's one of our best, well, it's one of our best in a long time. I think that whole lore series is. But the story today, then, is yet more lore, teasing the return of Ashara at some point. It looks like she'll come back stronger, maybe more void-infused. I would say not a servant of the old gods, because remember last time, she was basically just like, screw you, N'Zoth, I want to go take the Master's power, bye-bye, right? So we'll have to see how it goes. This is definitely going to take a few days to find out, though, because there are so many Old God Whispers tied to this, from Legion through BFA, that we just need to do the deep research. There's also some lore books, then, that do promise a pretty close look into Neltharion's character and his motives. So some of that in 10.07, some of that in 10.1, since it's almost certainly called Embers of Neltharion. There's also the Bane quest line. I know some people do not like that Bane is, and I'm not going to do a full spoiler, but it does involve Bane and the Centaur, and Bane being a Tauren, thinking about how you first meet Karn in Warcraft 3. Like, yeah, Bane goes into that with some prejudices and stuff, and I think some people have been like, oh no, but Bane is supposed to be bovine Anduin, he just loves everyone. I actually think it's a lot better when characters have teeth, because at the end of the day, let's say that an ongoing story is maybe Bane overcoming his prejudices when he realizes that, oh, the Centaur back home and some of these Centaur are actually different. Maybe I can breach this gap. That sort of thing. I think that's a far more powerful story, and a better story for people to actually have told to them, or, you know, to experience in a game, than just being like, I am Bane, and I am good, and I'm going to have a big cuddle in the Isles, right? I think a character needs to go on a journey, so I'm actually quite happy with that. I mean, there's so many lore nukes going on, we barely have time to actually make content on it, so there's a lot coming from our team. But for now, that is the Warcraft news. Overall, I think great stuff. Yes, the numbers for this expansion may be a little bit down, but I think we can all see with this content cadence that the team's actually putting in the work, right? And ultimately, you need to put the work in over time to see the results. For too long with the likes of, you know, Legion and stuff, it was almost a get-rich-quick scheme, you know? Make month 1 be absolutely humongous, and then, oh dear, look at all the users go away. What WoW needs is a strong, stable, healthy player base of people who've got a more positive and healthy relationship with playing the game, and that fundamentally is why I am really big on the Dragonflight expansion. I'm excited to see what's to come. That's it for me then. Of course, if you'd like to support what we're doing, you can check out the Pale Beyond at the link down in that description. There's also the documentary that we're putting together for the Pale Beyond. The first part is out on the Bellular Studios YouTube channel. And if you do play the game, certainly if you consider leaving a Steam review, that does also help us indeed. Okay, have a wonderful day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. And, well, I'll catch you tomorrow.